Hi, in this video, I'm going to be talking about meditative baths and why I love them. Oh my gosh, meditative baths are just a sacred ritual that I have embraced 100%. They are not only rejuvenating, they not only make you feel calm, they also connect you to your intuition and to your higher self. They open up your consciousness. When you're sitting in the water, that hot water, that's just the perfect temperature, and you have incense burning, you have essential oils in the water, you have your sacred symbols written all over the water, soaking in sea salt in particular. That's heaven right there. Have you ever had a meditative bath that you consider a sacred ritual because of the approach that you take when you're having that bath? It's mind-blowing. Oh my gosh, I would like to hear your experiences with meditative baths. Okay, so how do I do my meditative baths and why do I think it's important? We all are in a process of loving ourselves. And in order to love yourself and therefore to heal yourself, you have to make time for yourself. Life is all about rushing. Most people are just constantly rushing and everything is just in a whirlwind. But you need to slow down. I needed to slow down in my life because I'm just going to be talking about my life as an example of why I decide to do the things that I do. And in the process, I hope that certain people might get inspired and slow down and just chill in a hot bath of sea salt. It's amazing. Okay, so we're all trying to love ourselves, and we know that if we have to love ourselves, we have to take time aside, consciously choose us. I chose me. I choose me. I take time aside from my day and decide that, you know what, for the next 2 hours, I'm going to be doing me. I'm just going to be taking part in activities that help me slow down and consciously engage with myself, with my body, with my spirit, and with my mind in an environment that's luxurious. So I decided to start doing meditative baths as a sacred ritual. I think 1.5 years ago, and I have done it every Sunday without fail. I mean, for the last 1.5 years, and it has absolutely changed my time. Because I've done it so often, it has become a habit and a part of my life that those 2 hours on Sunday afternoon, most people who know me know that they should not be calling me. I will not be picking up the phone. I will not be engaging with anybody because that's a time that I have allotted for myself as a ritual time, as a meditative time. I mean, I meditate most of the time, but that is a particular time for me to just engage with myself, engage with my body, create that space and that loving self-care time for myself. So what I do is I prepare a hot bath, and I run a hot bath, and I put pure essential oils, a couple drops of maybe lavender or rose or geranium or peppermint or whatever meets my fancy. I have like a lot of essential oils. So whatever I feel that I need to put in the water, I put it in the water. I use sacred symbols in the water. And I also use the power of thought to charge that water that I am going to be soaking in for the next 2 hours, because my expectation is that the water absorbs emotions and thought. We all know about the work of Masaru Emoto, who had, done this study about how water how our thoughts and our emotions affect water. But that's not even the point. The point is we all know that words have power. They have energy. They change environments. You know, when you speak harshly, you can feel the energy change. When you speak gently, you can feel the energy change. So we all know the power of thoughts and the thought power of words and the power of intention. So I charge the water with intention. I use sacred symbols in the water. I write love in the water. I write health in the water. I write wisdom in the water. You know, I focus my intention because I know that when I get into the water, I want to feel that emotion. I know that the molecules in the water have been charged with the power of the thoughts and the words that I have spoken. And since I'll be soaking in there, all that is going to be coming inside my body. And I burn incense, sandalwood or frankincense, and I light my candles, and I take my favorite crystals. Usually I use my double terminated crystal, quartz, clear quartz crystals, or sometimes I'll put rose quartz in the water, or I'll put amethysts. But usually the crystals that I choose for my meditative bath are of the quartz variety or the quartz family. So it just depends on how I'm feeling at any particular moment. So there I am. I have music in the background, and it's very silent, very meditative, very healing, soothing music like Deuter's music or Liquid Mind. And the water's warm. My essential oils are in the water. Everything's smelling very beautiful, very nice, very, you know, it just, it's just chakra opening environment, chakra opening music. You know, the mood has been set for all kinds of communications, whether it's my, intuition beginning to flow, or communications with the angels or with the guides, or just being able to listen. And I prayerfully approach this whole ritual of me having a meditative bath. So the music's in the background, the water's hot and ready, the sea salt, either the Celtic or the Celtic brand or Himalayan sea salt, the tab, is it 16 ounces or something? It's all in the water. It's all dissolved. The essential oils are there. The candles are burning. I have my crystals. I have the incense. I am prayerful in my approach. My intentions are set that as when I get into the water, it's going to be relaxing, therapeutic, calming. It's going to balance my pH, because, we are acidic and sea salt is alkaline. And once the sea salt gets into your body, it kind of, it fights or combats the lactic acid in your body, and therefore you begin to relax and your muscles relax and you feel so much better. And we also know that essential oils are also very healing. They're very therapeutic and they penetrate the skin very easily. So there's a lot of benefits to having essential oils in the water. Just a little drop or maybe a couple of drops in the water, and I have my crystals charging up the energy and just the vibrations of the crystals getting into the water and getting into my body. I lay the crystals on my body. Sometimes I have one amethyst on my head or something. I have the double terminated crystals along my chakra. I balance my chakras. I sit there and I relax. I ask questions if I need to. I ask, because usually when you're in the water, we know we are almost at least 70% water. And our intuition is kind of activated when you're more when you're in the water. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but when I'm in the water, I usually feel that I can easily tap into my intuition. I ask questions and I get answers very, very easily. My mind is kind of open. Maybe it's the heat. Who knows how the pores open or how things are charged up, or how easy it is to penetrate consciousness when you're relaxed and you're in the water. So there's something also very meditative about being in the water. Intuition is also, usually a water-based element or a subconscious, it's obviously your subconscious, but it's when you think about the symbols of intuition, water is one of them. So maybe that's the connection, but it's so much easier to access your intuition, to ask questions and just be quiet and receive the answers in an environment that's sacred, that you have created as a sacred time, a sacred moment to love yourself, to heal yourself, to listen to your body, to listen to God, to the source, to whatever information is coming. There is absolutely no way that you will be out of that water. I promise you, I guarantee you, There is no way that you will complete a sacred meditative bath of that nature that's approached in the most sacred way without your frequency being raised in a very mind-blowing way. So I highly recommend meditative baths to raise your frequency, to relax yourself, to listen to yourself, to listen to your higher consciousness, to listen to source, to take time aside to love yourself in that therapeutic manner. There is nothing as heavenly as that kind of experience. So if you can do it on a regular basis, there's absolutely no way that you're not on the path of loving yourself. You'll definitely be on that path of loving yourself in the most healing and in the most meditative and in the most therapeutic, amazing way. So do you take meditative baths? How do you do it? Leave your comments below. Talk to you later. Bye.